Hello and welcome to my channel. This is my first video. I'm brand new to YouTube. I've been reading tarot cards for a long time and I've had experience with astrology and crystals as well. So we're going to be doing a pickle pile reading tonight. Pick a pile, not pickle pile. So I have 4 lovely stones to choose from that correlate with 4 different tarot decks here. So if there's a stone that you're drawn to the most or the artwork on the cards, pick whatever one resonates with you and we'll see if it makes any sense. So for pile 1, we have the green fluorite and the animism deck. We have rose quartz for pile 2 with the magic Nordic tarot. And we have for pile 3 some indigo gabbro with the holographic Magic Seers deck that's based off of the original Rider-Waite tarot deck. We have, for pile 4, blue kyanite with the Light Seers deck. Take as long as you need. You can pause it to get an idea of what one you're drawn to, and we'll take it from there. So if you picked pile 1 with the green fluorite and the animism deck, we'll get a shuffle and see what's going on. Also, Mercury retrograde is coming up, but don't sweat it, don't be afraid. It's a time to pause and maybe revisit conversations that you wish you would have had. It's not necessarily all bad, but it can frazzle some people's nerves and make electronics go a bit wonky. Alright, so at the bottom of the deck for overall energy, we have the 7 of Pentacles. There's been some issues financially going on. Maybe you just lost some money. Something might have happened with your job where it's not looking very promising and you're considering looking elsewhere. You're trying to figure out the next steps of what to do. And underneath that, we have the 6 of Wands. So that's looking positive. You have an idea in mind, and even though there's a setback, you're going to recover pretty quickly. And let's see what we have going on here. 4 of Pentacles reversed. That's such a cute card. It's a little skunk with strawberries. And the 9 of Cups, so at the end of all of this, you're going to feel pretty fulfilled and happy. You're thinking about changing jobs. That's your major issue that's going on in your mind right now. And the universe is telling you that if you were thinking about a different job or you're having maybe interviews coming up, go for it and just do it. And the one that's the right one, you'll know. And it's, you might be stuck where you're attached to your old job, you're afraid, am I making the right choice? And you are. Your intuition knows when it's time to go. And you have the Star card, a wish coming true, that also could mean Aquarius energy. Either you could be an Aquarius, or someone that's on your mind might be an Aquarius. Queen of Swords, so to me, that really makes me think it's Aquarius energy. Swords is air energy. Somebody's really closed off to you with communication, and you're waiting on an answer from someone. Strength card, it's letting you know that you're gonna overcome this whichever way it goes. Page of Swords reversed. Someone's holding back, talking to you about an issue, and they're kind of being immature as far as their communication goes. And Mercury retrograde could either make or break it. There's either going to be a conversation that happens that lays it all on the table, or you're going to decide in your mind, well, they're not communicating, they're not willing to meet me halfway and talk about this, so they're immature, I don't have time for it, and you're gonna be done, and with Eclipse season also being thrown into the mix, which is huge, and it's, even though it's not Venus retrograde right now, between now and October of 2023, it's going to have a lot of Venus retrograde energy where you're reevaluating jobs, the way that your money flows, and especially relationships, be it friendship or romantic. You're going to be reevaluating. People are going to be under the microscope. The ones that don't resonate with you will fade into the distance, and you might have old buried treasure that pops back up in the friendship area of your life. Maybe there was someone from back in the day who you thought was really cool, you really clicked with them, and thought, oh, they'd be really cool to be friends with. And maybe now you're revisiting it and talking to them again, and it's refreshing. That's what Venus retrograde energy is all about, even though it's not, because the lunar nodes are in Taurus and Scorpio, and Taurus has all the Venus energy that I've been talking about. So a lot of stuff is up for reevaluation, like huge, and with eclipse season right now, it's enhanced even more. And we've got the Two of Pentacles reverse, see? That's trying to decide between two choices. Which I'm thinking it's probably career, is my thought. Could be two lovers. My first instinct says that it's career. Page of Wands in the reverse. So this could also be, if it is about two people that you're thinking about, one might have a lot of air predominant in their chart and the other may have a lot of fire. One of them's being closed off and not communicating with you and it's getting on your nerves. The other one, they don't quite have it all together yet. Well, who really does? But they're so passionate about having a relationship with you and they're excited to see you, excited to talk to you. Whether they have it all together or not, their heart is in the right place. That I can tell you. And what else can we find out about this person or what's next for pile one? So we have the Death card. That doesn't mean literal death. So what the Death card is all about is huge transformation, which is perfect for the eclipse season. It's the dying of an old way to make room for the birth of a new, like the phoenix rising from the ashes, and it's even a bird. Granted, it's a crow, but still, it has that same imagery to it. And the Ace of Cups reverse, so a relationship that you're currently in, I think that it's either with that air sign or with someone that's closed off. And since we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse, that's telling me that the relationship might be ending because you feel like you've exhausted all of your options. You've been kind of like going back and forth in your head. Should I try to work it out with them or not? Your intuition already knows, you're just looking for extra clarification. And it's telling you if your heart knows that it just isn't right anymore and it no longer serves you, well then you can view it as a lesson and go ahead and end it if you're really truly not happy and you've already tried to work everything out. The fact that you're looking for a tarot reading, or me and you're curious to see what my tarot readings are like, that's different. But if you're looking for answers, something's not being communicated to you like it should, or you'd already have the answers. Outside of just being curious and doing this for fun, you've been debating on if you should stay in this relationship or not, and it's telling you you're probably gonna end up wanting to leave. There's better things out there and it served its purpose. You learned valuable lessons, but when it's time to go, it's time to go. And we have the Five of Wands reversed. Yeah, 'cause you're tired of all the fighting. That's one of the conflict cards, and because it's in reverse, it's saying that the fighting's ending, so either you and this person will come to a solution. You're kind of like last resort or like the end of your rope, where if you bring it up to them one more time, especially during this Mercury retrograde coming up on the 10th, and if they're not willing to meet you halfway and try to work it out, you're done with the fighting. You're sick of it. So that's more verification that if you have already been thinking about leaving, it's letting you know that's the green light to go ahead and do so. So we'll see what some oracle cards have to say for pile 1 here. Just gonna move these over to the side. If I can figure out how to edit videos properly, the transition between piles will be a lot smoother. Alright, so let's get some oracle cards here for pile 1. One of them just flipped out of the deck, so I'm gonna pick it up and see what that says. They also give time frames and hints about their chart. So we have new moon in Capricorn, late December or January. So a few things that this could mean. Something happened in late December or January of this year during Capricorn season, and now everything is coming to fruition where you were trying to decide what to do about it, and lately everything's been coming to a head, and you kind of have a clear decision in your mind about it. Or it could be talking about this is going to close up of the next year of the moon, around new moon in Capricorn, where whatever you're thinking about now is going to bloom right around there, and then you'll have a clear sight about what to do. The other possibility, they have prominent Capricorn in their chart, so that could be their sun, moon, rising, or Venus. So that's a few possibilities there. I'm gonna shuffle some more, and some of these have messages, some of it has time frames, so we'll see what messages want to come through for you. And I made these oracle cards up myself, by the way. Oh, what else do we have here? Okay, hidden or well-managed mental illness. So, either you or them could have something mental illness related going on. There's something involved with your mental health. Maybe they're not telling you what's going on, or you're in denial of your own. They could have major depression, or you could have depression, or maybe your mental health is suffering because you're not happy where you are. You know your situation better than I do, and you have to decide at what point, you want to be supportive of them and be there for them. You'd want them to be there for you if you had issues going on, right? However, there comes a time where it might be too much and you deserve peace. And are they using it as an excuse to treat you badly, or are they making the effort to try? You know the answers, but maybe that might be hinting at something that's going on. That might be the root of where the conflict is coming from. And we have another time frame card. Ooh, this keeps coming up. New moon in Gemini, late May or June, or they could possibly have Gemini prominent in their birth chart. So the new moon in Gemini is May 30th of this year, and that's like the end of all the eclipse energy. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe something will be held off until then, because you're both confused and everything's swirling around with the chaotic energy. And then when it all calms down, you'll be able to sit down and have a conversation and talk to each other and not the cards. We've all been there. I'm not judging. I've been there too. Let's see if anything else makes sense here. One day I will get the courage to tell you how I feel. I don't want to mess up. Well, it says another word, but I don't know if YouTube will appreciate my potty mouth. But you get what I'm saying. They don't want to mess up. Well, they need to come up with the courage to tell you how they feel soon, because you don't have all day. So, and now it's saying full moon in Virgo, late February or March. They could have Virgo in their chart, but my gut is telling me that the read for pile one is all complete and done with, because this doesn't really make sense with the other cards. When the cards stop making sense, that means the reading is complete. Or they're just some really tricky cards that you haven't gotten a hold of how to figure them out yet. Alright, so that concludes the reading for pile 1. So we'll go ahead and move on to pile 2 with the, if you chose the Rose Quartz and the Magic Nordic Tarot. I love that artwork. It's supposed to look like the Northern Lights. Alright, let's get a shuffle on pile 2 and see what we have going on for that situation. And I channeled something, or I just got something in my head that popped up, and loud and clear I heard Aries. Maybe you're an Aries, the person that you're thinking about is an Aries, or Venus just went into Aries, so maybe it's affecting your energy. I think it affects energy positively. It gives you that spark and that burst of energy back. You know how people are talking about in the springtime that, oh, everyone's Twitter-pated. No, I think that's because of Venus being in Aries. That's got Twitter-pated energy going on. And if you're not, well, then maybe that part of the story doesn't make sense for you. Just being real. Or maybe somebody's feeling Twitter-pated for you. A card just flew out of the deck. So we've got the World card. So something, a cycle came to a close, or is coming to a close. It's the end of a cycle. Maybe you just got into a new relationship, or you just ended one and you're in between. Or maybe you moved, like there's some kind of new beginning that just happened with you recently, like within the last 6 months or so. I want to know who's Twitter-pated about you. Or at least be able to know enough to give you the hint so you know. I don't need to know. So what do we have here? 9 of Pentacles, gratitude. I think lately you've been really good at counting your blessings and realizing what you have. Ace of Cups reversed. This just came up in the last reading for pile 1. So that might also clarify that a relationship ended for you. If not a relationship, maybe somebody that you were entertaining a relationship with but not quite official, and you realize that they just don't resonate with you, but you're still interested in a few other, you know, it could be one other person, could be more. Like, I don't think that you have a solid, you know, like, it's not clear to you who's the better solid choice right now, because it's fairly new and you don't know anyone well enough to really make a decision. Oh, and we've got the Judgment in reverse. 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. I think somebody was being stingy and selfish in your last relationship, and you're still healing from it. and maybe they were judgmental of you as well. And I'm also, so the next card I pulled is the Temperance card. So I think that you realize it and you understand where you need to heal, which is good. I mean, you pretty much have it under control for the most part, even though you truly believe that you are a hot mess right now. You think that you're a hot mess. You may feel that way, but you've got it together better than you think you do. Three of Wands. So I think there's somebody in the distance that may have feelings for you, and they are very subtle about how they're hinting about it, and they're waiting for you to see it and realize it. Well, speak up, Buttercup, come on now. Something about this pile too, like, is giving me very zippy energy. I don't know who I'm reading for, but somebody's got like a fiery personality and ballsy and sarcastic. So if that fits you and your personality, I'm picking up on your energy. Ooh, you got the Hierophant card. So I think that the person in the distance that's kind of watching you from afar, hopefully not in a creepy way, I don't think it is, they've considered the possibility of marriage with you. It doesn't mean they're gonna get down on their knee and pop a ring out immediately, but the thought has crossed their mind that you are a wife or husband material, that, you know, they might have that Twitter-pated energy going on, but it's mostly, it's not even because it's rooted from physical, it's because they're, what's the word, like, you light them up, like, they really dig your energy. And that's what it is. Like, it's really not about anything physical, necessarily. It's like, if they have the right vibe and the right energy, none of the other stuff really matters. So I think, you know, that's what it's about. They have a connection with you, and you, like, you light them up, and you, like, liven each other up is the vibe that I'm getting here. So we've got the Tower card. Now, traditionally, you know, it means that there was a major, you know, breakdown, and now you've got the build-up, like, the, what do you call it? The breakthrough always happens after the breakdown. In your situation, this is what I think happened. You and this person have both been going through a lot of crap, or recently been through something major, but instead of, you know, being so heavy with it, you kind of both make jokes about it. Like, you can relate to each other and you joke about your misfortune in a way where it kind of lightens the mood, because you know that there's nothing you can do about it except try to have a sense of humor, try to heal from it, and move on from the situation. And I think both of you are doing a great job. Like, for a relationship that's serious to work out, like, you have to meet each other, like, at your vibration, and I think for once, you found somebody that meets you there, where you're both on that same vibration. That person before that you might have split from around January, they worked for you at the time, you learned the lessons that you needed to, and your vibration went up, theirs stayed the same, and you have no choice. You know, if they're not gonna come up there with you, well then you gotta either chill by yourself, you know, and if you're gonna bother with anybody new, it has to be somebody that can meet you at that level, and if they don't, they're a lesson. Easier said than done, you know, you can't just get over it like that, but you have it in your mind of what you need to do, and you're doing a good job. Like, you're kicking butt at life right now. You don't think that you are, though. You're laughing at me right now, saying, haha, I'm a hot mess. Well, maybe you are, but you're still kicking butt. Ooh, and we have the Justice card, Balance. So, you both have that fiery energy in common, but besides the laughter and the joking, you know, and a little bit of the depth, there's some way that you're the opposite of each other, but it complements one another, rather than not being able to relate. It's one of those things where it's like they're the they're the yang to your yin, or yin to your yang, however that saying goes. And let's see, do we have anything else for, whoops, pile 2, if I don't knock the cards everywhere like I always do. Eight of Pentacles reverse, somebody feels like you're their lost opportunity, or at one point they did. This fiery person that it's talking about, it could be someone from your past that's making a comeback, and you're seeing each other in a different light, possibly. Knight of Wands in the reverse. Maybe they were immature, and they've grown up a little bit. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting, and I have a feeling that everything's complete. And if this didn't make sense for you, then, you know, try picking the second best pile that you thought would be the winner. One of them is gonna make sense. At least I hope so. So I will pull some oracle cards here for pile 2. So if you chose the rose quartz, this is the oracle part of your reading, and I made these up myself. I already said that in the reading for pile 1. But if you didn't pick pile 1, you probably didn't watch that one. Alright, so what do we have for pile 2? New moon in Scorpio, late October/November. So there's a few things that this could mean. Something may have came to a head when the new moon was in Scorpio, like around Scorpio season. So that would be late October or November of last year, and everything is coming to a head now, like a question that you had. Maybe you're starting to get answers about something that you were kind of wondering or on the fence about at that time. It could also be talking about that whatever you're thinking or starting now is going to come to a head in this 2022, late October, around November or so, during Scorpio season. The other possibility is, besides the fieriness that this person has, either they could have Scorpio somewhere significant in their chart, or maybe you have the Scorpio, which could be the sun, moon, rising, or Venus. And if you don't know how to find the information or look up birth charts, go to astro.com. When you go to it, it'll say, like, Astro Dentist. And you can do free birth charts there. It's got a database where you can put up to 200 people in it to store people's birth charts. So if you ever want to go back and look at someone's chart, the information is all there, and yours. It's really interesting, and you can customize it a certain way. Like, you can even see where different fixed stars are in your chart and all the asteroids, but you can click options where it'll show you just the planets, depending on how much you want to see. And let's see what other cards we have. Oh, this might be clarifying that they're a person from your past, maybe that grew up, or it could be talking about that other person that, was either the air sign or not communicating. Anyways, I'll get to the point. You are my one who got away, because I'm a dipshit who doesn't know how to communicate. See what else we've got. Full moon in Gemini, late November/December, which kind of happens around the time of the new moon in Scorpio, or like about a couple of weeks after it. So late October through December, either something happened then and it's coming to a head now, or something will happen this coming November or December. And this came up in the last pile for pile 1, too. One day I will get the courage to tell you how I feel. I don't want to mess up. That's probably the newer person that's coming in, or that you've been talking to most recently. Ooh. And also, be on the lookout for the evil eye and jealousy. People might be telling you false information because they're jealous of what you have with this person. So just be careful about, taking it too literally. If people tell you something about this person, fact check it. Find out the scoop and find out what's really true. You don't know what kind of hidden motives people are gonna have. Well, so that concludes the reading for pile 2. And I'll go ahead to pile 3, which is the Indigo Gabbro Heart. If you pick the Indigo Gabbro Heart and the Magic Seers holographic deck, this is your reading. And if it doesn't make any sense, check out the one that was your second best reading. If you couldn't decide between 2 crystals, you know, see what the other one says if this doesn't make any sense for you. Even though I didn't shuffle that long, something is telling me that it's done with the shuffle and that I can go ahead and cut them and pull the cards. So overall energy, ooh, we have the Magician. So that's all about alchemy and being resourceful, using everything that you have and recognizing your gifts and kicking butt with it. The Magician is... that's one of my favorite cards, honestly. It's, like, represents a person that can literally take any transformation, or any situation, and transform it to make it work out for their benefit. Not in a selfish way, but in a way where they're getting the most out of what they have. Interesting, because the other day, driving home from work, I also am... I'd say I'm pretty knowledgeable about animal totems and what they represent. I see turkey vultures all the time, but this one stood out to me. I'm not even kidding, you're not gonna believe me. But at the same time, it might not surprise you. It flew really low to the ground. It was pretty close, and it looked right at me and shook its head and kept flying, like it was saying, like, oh boy, here we go again. So my point is, because you're thinking, like, how the crap does this have to do with a dang turkey vulture? So the deal is with them, they are resourceful, like the Magician. You know, like, dead stuff is normally a bad thing. You know, roadkill on the side of the road, things like that. But these animals, they live off of it and they transform it into fuel. They're pretty cool, like, if you look them up and what they do, and I'm not gonna go into detail about what they do to clean themselves. It's pretty disgusting, but the point of it is it's, you know, taking a crappy situation and turning it into something awesome. Like turning a turd into gold, basically. You can't polish a turd. Don't listen to what they tell you. You can't polish a turd. You can roll it in glitter, but underneath it's still a turd. I knew I'd go on a tangent about turds at some point. So, underneath the Magician, as I'm being all serious when I just got done talking about turds, you literally chose to watch me, and you know how I talk. I mean, if you know me in my personal life, but to a stranger, well, either you're laughing or thinking I'm pretty weird. We've got the Eight of Pentacles reversed. And let's see how else this will come together and make sense. We've got the Hangman in the reverse. And the Ten of Swords. So what I'm seeing is there was a person who won't get their head out of their butt, that refuses to see things from another point of view. They're like a my way or the highway kind of person. They're right, everybody else is wrong. And they stabbed you in the back. They're kind of a boo-hoo, woe is me type of person. They're just not in a good energy right now. And you were very hurt by them. And you went through a lot. You feel they've said or did something that made you really feel betrayed and stabbed in the back. But instead of letting it get you down, you decided to be the Magician about it and turn Dookie into gold. So let's see where else this is headed. the High Priestess reversed. You know that they're hiding something from you too, and their secrets being kept. And for the longest time, you were digging and digging and digging to find these answers. And now, you don't really care. There's enough things to this situation that's enough by itself to want to move on. And you honestly don't even care what the secret is anymore. And at some point, it will reveal itself to you, but it'll be once you're fully moved on and you don't care anymore. You're gonna look back and go, oh, that's why something seemed fishy. Don't ever doubt your intuition. Something's also telling me that your intuition has told you everything, and you keep second guessing yourself because the way intuition works, and this is where the lines are blurred, you've got intuition in the middle, and it's a whisper rather than a yell. You know, ego is a yell, intuition is a whisper. So where do you differentiate between intuition, wishful thinking, or on the low end, paranoia? You think that you're being paranoid, and you kept second guessing yourself, and now you're figuring out, wow, my intuition was telling me the truth. So hopefully from that, you know, you learned, don't doubt your intuition. You don't have, just because you have feelings about something doesn't mean you have to act on them. Just don't doubt yourself and keep it in the back of your head. Watch and observe, and may I recommend labradorite to you. As far as crystals go, it's all about shining the light from within, illumination. It's a very feminine energy stone, which is very receptive. And it's one of those stones where it's not about action, it's about sitting back and watching. You're just watching this shit show unfold, and it's coming out exactly how you thought it would. We have the Knight of Cups in the reverse. I think you lost emotion for this person. Like, they just did so much stupid crap that it turned you off, and your emotions and your heart just isn't in it anymore. We have the Six of Wands. You're moving away from this person and you're keeping your face to the sunshine. Oh, and we have the Fool card, which goes right along with it. That's about new beginnings. You know, you've been deciding, you've been trying to think of something new that you're trying to start, and it's telling you to go ahead and take that leap of faith. Divine timing put you there for a reason. It's telling you to be confident and take that leap of faith and go for it. We've got the Nine of Wands in reversed. And you're hesitant about communicating your new endeavors with people. Let's see what the next card says. So this one showed up in the last reading. We have the Death card, which makes sense with everything. It's the death of an old chapter in your life and the birth of a new. You're ending things with this person, and you're moving on from it, or at least that's what you want to do. It's, you know, your mind knows that you need to leave, but your heart it's still got a couple of things, you know, where you can't let go, but for the most part, you've lost most of your emotions for it, and you're just kind of recovering from all of it. King of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, you've lost passion for this connection. And then I feel like you're asking me in your head, okay, so heck with that D-bag, what's next? Well, let's see. Ooh, we have the Ace of Cups in the upright position. So that's all about, that's a new beginning, you know, and I think it has to do with love, so you might be coming into a new relationship, or, you know, revisiting something from the past in a positive way. The Knight of Swords reversed. So I think that you're really open and your person is not. Like, they don't, they're not communicating about it right now. They're kind of contemplating. Ooh, Ace of Wands. Somebody has passion for you. The Three of Cups in the reverse. Some of you might have been drinking and partying a lot lately, like overindulging, and be really careful about overspending. I think we all need to be careful about overspending. It's just good advice in general. But I think it's letting you know, maybe focus on your finances a little bit, even though you're getting swept away by this connection. Don't forget about laying a nice foundation for yourself and focusing on yourself before you end up making mistakes with money. We've all been there. Oh, so here it is. The Ten of Wands. So that's about carrying a burden. So this brought a thought into my mind. So I don't know how, I know everyone knows who Led Zeppelin is, of course. But if you know what some of their album covers look like, this man with the bundle of sticks on his back, there's literally a Zeppelin album that has that on the front of it. Not exactly like this, but it reminds me of it. And that one, it's like the number 4 album, and it has Stairway to Heaven on it, you know, and that's one of their more popular songs. And obviously the Rider-Waite tarot deck came out before Zeppelin was a thing. So I'm curious, like, I don't know if it's a coincidence or if they knew what they were doing when they picked the artwork on their cover. So that album has, you know, I wonder how many songs on it have to do with something about carrying a burden. Stairway to Heaven's on there, Black Dog, Misty Mountaintop. Obviously there's more, but right off the top of my head, that's, you know, what I'm thinking of. I just thought it was interesting, like, I wonder if they knew that. Well, anyways. So you've got the Nine of Swords in the reverse. You used to lose a lot of sleep over this at night, and you're finally recovering from it. Ace of Swords in the reverse. So I don't think that this person is going to come through with communication soon. It's going to be very slow moving. But if the slow and steady wins the race thing is true, you know, everything happens differently. Some relationships start out fast, other ones go along really slow. I think for you, this will be a slow-moving one. And the Empress in the reverse, you could be dealing with a Taurus. Two of Wands. Maybe you're coming to a truce with somebody, possibly? Or maybe there was a issue with a Taurus and there's a truce with them. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Pentacles is usually the earth element, so that's more clarification. This person may have Taurus in their chart, or they may be an earth sign. King of Swords, we've got air, also somebody seeming very stoic. Like, they're not trying to communicate anytime fast, like, they're very observant and slow about it. Well, we've got the Four of Wands, which is the victory card, and it's also 1111. It could be a wish coming true also. So I think that it's gonna be slow moving for you, but in the end, it will come together. It's hard to be patient, you know, but divine timing works the way it does. You can't really do anything about it. Just stay open and take what comes. And then I will also pull some oracle cards for pile 3 here. And I made these myself. I just took a blank tarot deck and wrote messages on them. Some of them have to do with timelines. They can represent placements in birth charts. Some of them have messages in them. It'll pretty much, you know, it might tell you what you need to know. If it makes sense, great. If it doesn't, maybe that part didn't resonate. See what we've got here. This came up in one of the last readings. So we have hidden or well-managed mental illness. So that tells me that maybe, maybe the person has anxiety, maybe they have depression and they're not being open and talking about it, or maybe you do too, and that might be something that's blocking the connection from moving forward. Not that, no one can do anything about it if they have something going on with their mental health. But if they manage it well, then things might move forward a little bit, or at least if they're aware of it and they let it pass. Like, just because you have something going on mental health wise, it doesn't mean that you need to act or do something. But if you're aware of it and how your mind works and just knowing that it'll pass, or if you know that you need to act on it, do what you need to do to make things work. Or it could be them or both of you, or maybe you relate because you both have the same type of issues going on. Let's see what else we can find. Okay. Pay attention to how you feel around certain people. Do you feel drained or do you feel inspired? That's also important. And if somebody's got like a grumpy vibe, learn to, figure out the difference between, is it a temporary thing because they had a bad day, or are they generally just kind of a low vibe, negative person? So we've got stop overextending yourself. You have feelings too. So if this person isn't communicating with you, it doesn't mean that you need to work harder. Just be open and be there when they do decide to communicate. But if you've reached out and you've tried and you've done what you could to make sure that they know that you care, there's not anything that you can do. At least you can relax and rest and know, like, you did everything that you could. They have to work to prove themselves to you too. It's not just you proving yourself to them. Like, it works both ways. Ooh, please don't fall for this crap again. You know what's going to happen. So, it's not exactly consistent with what the tarot cards said. But if this is your story, you know what's gonna make sense and what doesn't. Maybe part of it made sense, but not all of it. But I hope you got something out of it and, something clicked. And if it didn't, see what your second best crystal said. Well, so that's the end of pile 3. We'll go ahead with pile 4. If you chose the blue kyanite and the light seers deck, this is your reading. Oh, we've got a couple of jumpers here, or at least one anyhow. I thought it was 2. Did this literally come up in every single reading? We have the King of Swords again. That's strong air energy, and interesting because if it's about somebody not wanting to communicate right away. If you're coming to get a tarot card reading, means you're looking for answers and you're not getting them directly from the source, or you're just curious or watching it because you wanted to look at my channel. But 9 times out of 10, when people frequently go for tarot card readings, something's not complete and they're not getting clarity on a situation, and they're looking for answers. Because either the person that they're dealing with, it might be fairly new and you're not really sure, or, the communication between you guys isn't where it should be. Or you could be, you might have a question in mind and your intuition is already telling you something and you're looking for a reading to clarify what you already know from your intuition. Well, so we had another card jump out of the deck. We've got the Six of Wands. So I think all in all, they will communicate and things will work out. They're gonna put everything on the table. They're just being, kind of closed off right now. But it's because there's a mood that they have going on, and I don't think that they're permanently like that. So, we'll see what else we can find here. So, overall energy at the bottom of the deck. Oh, the Ten of Cups. That's like the happy ending card. Not talking dirty, but like literally like, having it together. You're gonna end up being happy with this person, or at least that's how they view you, anyhow. Like, they view you as your, they're happy, they're happy when they think about you. So, Ten of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, so that's new beginnings with something practical, like maybe you moved into a new home, you got a new job, or you're about to get a new job. Page of Wands. Ooh, they're flying at you with communication, like, after their little sabbatical that they're taking. Once they come out of their cocoon, out of hibernation, they might have a little temper tantrum at first and be a little bit hard to read. But in the end, they will communicate their feelings. Ace of Swords in the reverse. We've got the Page of Cups. We have the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups, that can be the nostalgia card or the soulmate card, which goes, makes sense with the Ten of Cups. I don't understand, though, with the Ace of Swords in the reverse. Like, I think right now communication's not there, but once it does happen, things are gonna turn out happy for you. Eight of Swords. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Four of Cups reversed. I almost feel like there's a third-party situation going on, and, maybe they're deciding between you and another person, or they're about to end things with someone, and when they're done with that, they might come find you. And I think that you have enough wisdom to know to distance yourself from them. That's also why they're not communicating. Like, maybe they have somebody else. Obviously it's not a good idea to entertain it if they're currently with someone. If they can do it to them, they'll do it to you too. And if their feelings are really that serious, well, then they should be able to end things. But don't wait around. Do your own thing. Let them be by themselves for now. If that is the situation. Like, they're stuck between two choices. They know what one they want to make, but it's just a matter of them acting on it. And we have the Strength card in the reverse. So, by you distancing yourself from them, you don't know how you're gonna do it. You're not sure if you're strong enough to be able to handle it, and it's telling you that you're stronger than you think. And we've got the Five of Pentacles. It's in the reverse. Yeah, you feel left out in the cold. You feel really left out in the cold right now, because they're not communicating with you at the moment. I swear this came up in every pile. We have the Four of Wands, so that's the victory card. It just looks like things are really rough right now, but they are going to be one of the few situations where it works out. Like, I never recommend, the definition of insanity. This person keeps treating you like crap, they're not giving you the communication you deserve, but you still keep going back to them. Your mind knows it's dumb, but your heart can't let go. But I think this is one of those rare situations where maybe they will actually, end up being, things will be good in the end, where it doesn't seem like it right now. We've got the Ten of Wands, carrying the burden. You feel like you're doing all the work in this connection and carrying the burden. And we've got the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Ooh, you're gonna end up snapping on them. Aw, Nine of Swords. That's the anxiety card, losing sleep over everything. Like, you're just having a hard time dealing with this. And you're right for snapping on them, too. And the Star card. The Devil. The Devil with the Five of Wands. So you could be fighting over something involving addiction issues. Or maybe they're addicted to attention. Like, it might not even be something about drugs. It could be spending. It could be, like, they're being an attention whore. And it irritates you, and you're, like... That's what the conflict has been about lately. If there is any communication. Queen of Cups in the reverse. You're kind of starting to lose emotion at the moment. Three of Cups in the reverse, which makes a lot of sense with the Five of Wands and the Devil card. The Three of Cups reverse usually talks about overindulgence, addiction, so... And the High Priestess in the reverse. They could be hiding an addiction from you that you don't know about yet. The Chariot reversed. You feel really stuck right now. And now we're getting the Lovers, like... Well, that could be dealing with Gemini energy. So, to me, this reading doesn't quite make sense. Like, I feel like this person's all over the place. Like, you're getting all this happy stuff, the Ten of Cups, the Ace of Cups, or maybe it's talking about two separate people. You're dealing with one person that's got addictions, and then the other one is a little bit more solid and, is more emotionally mature. If this is talking about the same person, maybe there's something involved. Like, they have a split personality, almost, it looks like, and you don't know which one is the real them. Like, I'm confused, and usually I can make sense out of things. So, I'm gonna pull some oracle cards here for pile 4, and see what messages come through. Alright, so we've got full moon in Aries, late September/October. So the different possibilities with this card, and I made these oracle cards up myself, by the way. Some of them have messages, some have timelines or hints to zodiac placements, so they could either have Aries in their chart, could be Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, or you could be the one with Aries in your chart. Either something happened in late September or October of this past year, 2021, where everything is coming to a head about the situation now. Like maybe some questions that you had, something that you started, you're starting to see the completion of the chapter now, or something that you're starting now is going to give you the answers and manifest in 2022, this year, late September or October. You know your situation better than I do, so that may or may not make sense to you. Maybe it resonates, maybe it doesn't. Ooh, okay. My actions versus my words will tell you everything you need to know. So, could this be talking about all these different parts of the situation that I'm seeing with the cards were very confusing and, like, contradicting each other. So maybe, are they filling you with a bunch of fluffy duffy words, but their actions say otherwise? Or the other way around, like maybe they feel all lovey dovey and they're immature and trying to act all like cold and distant to try to play it cool when really it just makes it worse. Who wants to give all their time and attention to somebody that's being cold to them? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, maybe they're immature. Ooh, one of you needs to speak up. So, if you already communicated to this person, there's really nothing that you can do but let them, come to you and talk about it. And if you haven't been open with them about an issue that needs to be brought up, you need to lay it all out on the table. I don't want your sympathy, I just want you to understand. So, if there is some kind of issue going on with addiction, like they want you to understand where they're coming from, or even if addiction has nothing to do with it, like they feel like they're not being heard. Hopefully it's not like a woe is me situation where they're making excuses for themselves. I mean, try to understand them, but if you already did, and they're not making the effort to try to, like, make the best of the situation, maybe they're not on your level. Like, maybe the good parts the cards were talking about was finding your own happiness on your own. Very confusing with this one. Let's see. If he wants to talk to you, he will. No one can stop him but you or himself. And then we've got full moon in Taurus. They could have Taurus in their chart, sun, moon, rising, or Venus. Something may have happened in late October or November. So that's kind of right around the full moon in Aries, about a month away from each other. So sometime in the fall, something major happened that's coming to fruition now, like the conclusion of it all, and you're finding answers to questions you had, or something you're starting now, or questions you have now. You'll get the answers this fall of 2022. I hope you don't have to wait that long to have a conversation with the person. I would have the conversation now, and then check back in around fall of this year and see where things are going. Did things improve? Are they making the effort? Are you guys working it out, or is it the same old, same old? Like, actions always speak louder than words, but one thing that you should never doubt is patterns. Patterns trumps all. So if you see a pattern repeating itself, going around and around and around in the same circle, and you've tried your best to, break the cycle, work it out, try to stop these things from happening, well then, get out of that karmic cycle, and work on yourself and focus on your healing. Otherwise, it's like you're gonna attract the same a-hole in different bodies. Like, if you notice a pattern with past relationships, there's something in yourself that hasn't been healed, or, you're a compassionate person, so you give everyone the benefit of the doubt. That could also be a factor. Well, so I don't have anything else for pile 4. That concludes our reading, so I hope you all have a great weekend, and For Mercury retrograde, I hope you all stay sane, use some fluorite, blue lace agate. You know, just try to remember that this too shall pass. And thank you for watching me. I hope you all have a good rest of your night.